Hi YouTube. Sorry I was gone for a long time. It was like a month, but I was traveling a little bit and honestly Gemini season was a mess. And then I've just been really involved in other stuff like family, relationship stuff, like friends stuff. Like I've just been really distracted and simply just enjoying my summer, but I haven't forgotten about this. And I also think that videos kind of I film them when they're meant to come out. Like, sometimes there's like a long pause between them, but maybe someone just clicked on this video at the time that they needed it. And this was the time. I don't know. That's an excuse for me. I'm a Taurus. So once I get out of routine, like I did in Gemini season, it's really hard to get me back into it. Anyways, let's get to the point of this video, which is Pluto in retrograde transiting the 10th house. So Pluto went into retrograde April 14th at 23 degrees in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled and associated with the planet Saturn. So Saturn's also currently in retrograde, and that does heavily influence this Plutonian retrograde. And right now, currently, we have 7 planets in retrograde. So it may seem a little confusing and confuzzling, but don't freak out, because a lot of people always freak out when they're like, oh, it's Pluto retrograde. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, everything's Pluto retrograde. There's so much pain, yada, yada, yada. Here's the trick. Oh, Pluto goes direct October 3rd at 23 degrees Capricorn. Here's the thing with dealing any retrogrades. It's not that big of a deal if you realize that you're in control of your life. When you realize that you're in control of your life, you'll realize that retrogrades don't affect you. If you want to manifest the right things in your life, you can do it. If you don't want something to happen, it won't happen. But it's all if you take action, if you sit back, if you wait, if you contemplate, if you relax, you think it through thoroughly, and then you take action. But Pluto in retrograde is not necessarily a time to take fully direct action. It's more of a time to reassess certain things in your life. Now, what you would be reassessing is what house Pluto is retrograding in. So, for example, if you have your 10th house is Capricorn, that means you are an Aries ascendant, or that means you have an intercepted house, and Pluto is currently retrograding your house, the 10th house in Capricorn. So now Pluto in retrograde has to deal with things of death, rebirth, and transformation, reanalyzing, reassessing, pulling old roots out, and planting new ones. It also deals with a lot of what makes us happy, what is healthy for us, what will regenerate us to be a better person. That's what Pluto is dealing with. Now, whatever house it is retrograding in, which is the 10th house for you, means that it's going to be all of those qualities are just going to be reassessed to qualities of the 10th house. So we're going to be dealing with reassessing your career, reassessing what you really want to do in life. Maybe you're dealing with regrets of what career you've actually chosen. Maybe you're very self-conscious about how you're viewed by others right now. And you're doing that game where you're envisioning what people think of you, but it's not what people actually think of you. It's what you think that they think of you. So you're getting trapped right now in this paradigm that it's like not even what you think of yourself, not even what the other person thinks of yourself, but what you think the other person thinks of you. So that is something that can be reoccurring when we're dealing with themes of the 10th house and Pluto, because Pluto has a very strong energy. Right? And it's all about rebuilding and reconstructing and letting go of the past. And now a lot of our human emotions kind of get us held back. They get us tied down to certain things. So maybe you have Pluto retrograding the 10th house right now, but you also have a lot of fixed energy and you want to leave your job. Okay, you're tired of it. You feel as if you deserve better, or you want a higher position in your job, but you just feel like you're running in circles and you're not getting anywhere. But you want to leave. That's what's going to make you happy. In the back of your mind, you're being like, I need to leave this. I need to fix this. I need to move on. But you're holding on, okay? The pain from Pluto retrograde comes when you don't release it and take action for yourself and actually move on with your life. Because Pluto is a very forceful energy. So if you're not moving on and if you're not making those decisions and being the one in control, Pluto's going to come over and knock you off the cliff and take over control. And that's when you face the pain, because it's unexpected. It's not when you wanted it to happen. It's too fast. It's too sudden. You don't feel like you're in control of it. That's when the pain from Pluto retrograde comes, because you're not taking action and control into your life in order to actually pursue what you want, to feel as if you have that power. It's almost as if you feel as when you're not doing those releasing, letting go, understanding what you deserve, when you're not taking care of yourself, then Pluto's going to kind of show you things. It's going to reveal them for you. It's going to bring them to the surface for you. And that's when the pain and confusion and all of that kind of stems, and the anxiety. And sometimes, yes, it can be a little bit depressing. But that's why it's important to move with the wave of Pluto retrograde. And if you don't move, it's going to take you out. So now let's talk about Pluto in retrograde in the 10th house specifically. So, like I said, this probably means that you have an Aries ascendant or an intersected house making Capricorn your 10th house. The 10th house is all about the public image. It also is the midheaven. Now, if your chart is like properly aligned and stuff. And when you're dealing with those things, it is dealing with, you are dealing with like your career and how you view yourself and how others view you in the public eye. But you're also probably going to be rediscovering career and social status. Maybe you're understanding the importance of having a social media because that will boost your recognition. I definitely recommend that. If you're trying to climb the social status ladder, try networking, try gaining more followers, because that's how the world works today. I know a lot of people hate social media. Like, I personally hate like Instagram, Twitter. I mean, I love Twitter, but like I don't post on Twitter. But like Instagram and all of those things, because it's something that feels very fake. It feels like draining. But in today's world, that is how people get to know you more. That is how you get more well known. And that is how people are able to reach out to you so that you can gain more financial success by gaining other people's recognitions, and they may want you for a job. They may want you for this. Maybe if you're trying to look for a new career, try posting your on those like job websites. If you want to be someone on a higher social status in the workplace, in a career ladder, if you're trying to climb the career ladder, definitely don't push. Don't be an asshole, essentially. Don't be a know-it-all. Don't be manipulative. Don't lie to yourself. Don't cheat against others at this time, because what you do will kind of bite you in the ass, because we have Saturn in retrograde too, and Saturn's all about karma and karmic debts. What you're putting out now is what you're going to receive. If you feel as if you have that ego surrounding your job where you're like, I think I can do this, I'm better, I deserve that higher position, and you're not being diplomatic about it by working harder, being consistent, being respectable, because when an eye of authority is looking over you, they're going to want someone that's respectable working for them. If you're just trying to be a know-it-all and be better than everybody else and like trying to prove yourself verbally or physically or with your body language, stuff like that, nobody's going to like that. They're going to think it's spiteful. They're going to think it's disrespectful, and nobody likes that in general. So if you're someone that believes that you deserve a higher status in the career section or in your job, then definitely work hard, be consistent. Your karmic debts will be rewarded if you are persistent, if you work hard, if you work honestly, and you are respectful, because your work will speak for itself rather than you having to speak for yourself. I know having Capricorn in the 10th house makes you a little bit more stricter and rigid in the public eye, and it makes you perceive a little bit more like you do actually know it all, because you do, and you're more organized and you're more efficient in certain things, and you like big money. You like to be seen as someone that's respected, that's honored, that's has their shit together. So just embody who you want to be in the workplace. When you start embodying and envisioning what you want and slowly working and being persistent at it, you will receive what you actually want. And that's going to come around when Pluto goes direct, because you've like planted new seeds, so that when Pluto goes direct, now those seeds can flourish. Pull out old roots that you think aren't working. If you're a boss in a place, get rid of employees that are lacking. Get rid of employees that slack. Get rid of employees that are disrespectful, that show up late. Maybe you're trying to be self-employed. Go for it. If you can come up with a business strategy that you know is organized and that will bring you financial success, but it's also, let's say it has good direction. It makes sense. You know what I mean? People will buy your product. People will subscribe to your channel. People will do this and that and that. You know that a lot of consumers will buy it. but you're just hesitant to take that step, I honestly recommend not necessarily quitting your job and doing that right away, but start planning for when Pluto goes direct and start envisioning what you want your life to be like. If you want to be your own boss, start thinking of an organization system. Start finding people that can help you build um, your own career where it's like you're self-sufficient, you're self-employed. You may discover a new career path at this time where you feel as if I don't like this path, but then something along the way stumbles and it's like you feel that it's a sign telling you to take that job opportunity. If you've never seen The Pursuit of Happiness, I definitely recommend watching it. And if you have, then when the main character, Will Smith, he walks in front of the stock company. I really don't know anything like technical term, but when he walks in front of that building and he just like looks at it and you can tell that he's like, okay, that's the sign that's what you need to do. If you come across that, go for it, because it will bring you success. It will bring you financial rewards. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to change your mindset, the way that you organize things, the way that you work. Try waking up earlier if you're running late all the time. Also, remember that Capricorn in the 10th house tends to overwork themselves, overexert their energy, and not necessarily just physically, but also mentally, especially when it comes to things of the public eye and of public service. So when you're dealing with that high anxiety and mental state, it's always very important to remember that you're taking care of yourself and taking time out of yourself. That's when things will manifest better in your life. It's kind of when you just like press off the gas pedal for a little bit and just like chill. Now is the time to reassess, reanalyze, and start to regroup on your ideas and what you want to be and who you want to become in general. So there's going to be a huge tie with your self-worth and your career. At this time in these few months, you're going to find that a lot of your self-worth and self-esteem is going to be tied to how much money you're making or how people perceive you, or if you're starting college, maybe you're curious about or insecure about what you want to pursue as a career or what you want to study. Things like that are going to kind of be tied into your self-esteem right now, and how much money you're making. There's a huge emphasis on that as well. There can be a little bit of insecurity with your finances and if you're making enough for the amount of work that you're putting in, but I highly recommend just be persistent and keep going, because the more that you fret about it, the more you're holding too tightly onto it, and when you're holding too tight onto it, you're kind of suffocating it. You're not giving it room to breathe. Just listen to your intuition very, very closely when it comes to when it comes to career. Okay, what the back of your mind says, and you're just cluttering it with anxiety and those thoughts that keep running over and over. The first thought and the first feeling is kind of what you should follow, and let that be a pathway. Now, I don't want to be the person that's telling you to do something and then you actually do it and it messes up, because honestly, I'm not a psychic. And I can't tell you what's going to happen in your future and what's this. I can only kind of direct you towards these times and help you gain better understanding of yourself and what's going on around you. So for me, I wouldn't necessarily take action right now, especially because we are in the month of July, and July currently has a lot of retrogrades right now. There's 7 planets in retrograde, including, there's 6 planets in retrograde, and then Chiron, which is an asteroid, is in retrograde, and that's also healing from past wounds. So we're dealing a lot with, yes, the Pluto retrograde in whatever house, but we're also dealing with a lot of Neptune, and we're dealing with Saturn, and Saturn all kind of ties back to the 10th house retrograde, where it's like your hard work will pay off. You may find yourself redefining who you are through what other people view you as. If you're cool with that definition, let it be. Maybe you want to embody the person that other people view you as. Do it. Maybe you're lazy, but you're really good at making other people think that you're very hardworking and have your shit together, and that's what you actually want to become. Like, work to become that. I think that's great. I think that's a great thing to do. And now, if you're applying for a new job, if you're applying for school, if you're trying to kind of carve new pathways and you're on your way to do so, don't lie about yourself. Don't lie on your job applications. Don't lie to your boss. Don't lie to your coworkers. It's kind of a time to be honest, because Pluto's all about bringing things that are hidden to light. And if you're manipulating, if you're lying, if you're just being a very dishonest person in general, that's going to be shown. And it may not be shown in this period, but it'll come up karmic debts, and that's a huge thing when you're dealing with the 10th house in Capricorn, because Capricorn is at home in this house, and Saturn's also in retrograde right now, and we're dealing with a lot of karmic debts. So if there's one piece of advice I can give you to you, is listen to your intuition, follow like your heart and what you actually want to do with your life and how you want to be perceived. Listen to that, think about that, plan about the future. How much money do you want to make? Write that freaking down. Think about how you're going to get there. If you want to be a manager, think about how you're going to get there. This is a time to replan. Get rid of things that you don't like about yourself, about your personality, about how you're perceived by others. Get rid of that, plant new ones. Let it be at this time also. If you're having trouble with finances, keep working hard. And if you're working and you feel like that job isn't working for you, you need to start looking for new places. Don't get stuck. If you get stuck and you stay, even though you feel and know in your heart that you're supposed to leave, that's kind of when the pain's going to come along. But you can totally avoid the pain if you just keep going. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Oh, all of my social media links are down below if you want to contact me for any readings and if you have any questions in general.